So I took the gauge off. So what came out of that? Let's spin it. Let's just spin it. Kind of see what happens. Okay, I had to hook my battery up. We know we have fuel. Make sure that's off the ground. I'm gonna have it out here, but let's just spin it. See what happens. Oh, get a max close down. Now these things, are they supposed to have a, what does it say? Clutch, start, cancel. You're supposed to match that and you don't match clutch in. Okay. That might be it. When I was hooking up, I was putting the old distributor on, the old distributor cap on, and I didn't have the screws, so I put the new cap on. Oh man. Now let's see what happens. I just wanted to see if it'll fire. I'm not gonna let it run because we don't have water. Undid my battery again. I think I heard a little sputter there. I failed to test this. I should have, but I tested my other injectors, but I failed to check that. The cold start injector. I gave it one little douse of some brake cleaner in there, and let's see if it sucks that in. Fire it off. All I want to do is hear it just fire to where I know there ain't no crazy sounds or nothing. Try just another time or two, and then I'm going to double check some things, timing, so. Okay, I'm a little bit upset with myself because I rechecked my timing. I rotated this up the compression stroke with my finger in the hole there, and lo and behold, how did I do that? I was real careful about that. I'm 180 off. So let me flip this around over to number one. Okay, and now maybe my timing's right. Hook my battery back up and try it again. See what happens. Man, it's amazing how things do when you got everything right. So I just cut it right off. I wanted to hear it, but I want to look right quick and see if I have oil pressure. So let me, well, I don't have inside lights. Let me just try and get my lights on then. Oh well, I'm gonna watch it. Let's see if we get oil pressure right quick. see nothing as far as oil pressure. Wait a minute. Am I looking at oil temperature? Can't see nothing. Okay, I've heard what I want to hear. So it cranked and it sounds fairly smooth. I don't hear no knocking. So I'm gonna finish hooking everything else up, and we'll go from there. So it does crank, and yeah, I may not have my oil pressure sensor hooked up. Let me see if I believe I did. I'll double check some of these sensors, and I'm gonna work on about a ride time today. But I'm gonna work on putting the radiator in, picking some belts up, and figuring out some more vacuum hoses here. All right, got an early morning start here. Back on this 4runner, and I'm gonna try to get the radiator in, get my hoses hooked up, get my belts put on, everything up front here. Get all this stuff done. I got a couple of vacuum lines got to check about. Got my belts on. Yeah. Luckily, the belts that I had picked up for this thing, every one of them fit the right length. So yeah, the alternator belt in the back, your air conditioning belt in the middle, and then your power steering fan belt, water pump, whatever. Well, next, that's just a power steering belt on the outside toward the front here. So I'm going to see if I get my radiator in here, and then put my fan on. Got my radiator sitting in there. Looks like at one time somebody changed the radiator because it has the fittings for an automatic transmission there. This is a straight air. So all we need now is a shroud. That shroud's back here. Where's my shroud? Put a hose on this thing. That's my old hose. You'll see right here. There you can see. It's my old lower hose. This is a replacement. So we need to cut this off. Yep, that over there. Hey, this is the top hose that was on it. This is the one that I had ordered, and that ain't gonna work no matter how I cut it. I don't like the looks of that. But this one's got a little bit of a kink right here. I'm gonna cut this off some, and that'll pull that out. That'll open the hose up a little bit. So I'm gonna use this old one for now. My oil pressure gauge is not moving. So I did this oil sanding unit right here, and put in a manual one. Let's say a manual, but I'll put one of these on here for now. I'm just gonna put this inside here, see if I can kind of position it to where I can see it and spin the motor. See if that moves. So you guys watch that over there, see what happens. That's not good. It's not good at all. So this thing's pushing oil up to the gauge. Oh, wait a minute. Is it loose? No, it's not loose. So it's pushing oil up to the gauge. Is that gauge bad? So it took the gauge off. So what came out of that? It's not much oil. Well, I didn't want to have to do this, but I did. I pulled the oil pump back off this thing. And I didn't notice this beforehand, but apparently these dots are supposed to be on the same side. I don't know if that really makes a difference. This had an oil film in here on these, so I really don't think that I'm going to put some grease or Lucas or something on these gears when I put it back in there. Everybody says you need to pack this oil pump. But these dots, this ring on the large one, the dot was on the inside, or actually facing the other direction. This one was facing this way. And they do say the dots are supposed to be the same direction. But I think this thing was wrapped in plastic when I took it apart. I don't remember even pulling these rings out. So I don't think I flipped that, the large one. Anyway, I took it apart. I'm gonna pack it with some kind of grease and put it back in, and we're gonna spin it and see if we have any oil pressure. I'm gonna check that oil pump seal right there, make sure it looks good, and yeah, we're just gonna put it back together. I think we finally have pressure. Yep, we're there. Yeah, I see at least 20 pounds, so that's good there. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that had me worried because, yeah, I was concerned. I got to thinking about them old galley plugs, and I went back and looked at my old videos, and luckily I was able to see that they were in there. So I felt good about that, but I still, and even while I put this pump back on after I coated it with Lucas, put it back on, and I spun it about twice, and I wasn't getting any movement into this hose right here going to my gauge. Well, I didn't have the gauge on. I figured that it would start squirting out. So I put the gauge back on. I actually blowed through that a little bit with an air hose, with this hose, thinking could it be stopped up or whatever. But when I put the gauge back on and I spun it, probably close to 45 seconds. And then it started pulling forward up. So yeah, like I say, I was worried about the galley plugs, but I went back and looked at my old videos, and I was able to see the one under the pan, the one in the back of the block, and so that was there, and I was happy about that. So let me finish bolting everything back on, and let's go back to where I was at. I hope I don't have a bad oil ring. A little bit of a mist for it too right now. Our smoke has cleared up at idle now. That is one thing. I went from having no oil pressure to having about like has like about 75 pounds of oil pressure at 2,000 RPM. That sounds like a lot of oil pressure to me. The smoke at idle has went away. But if you rev it up to, say, when I was running, trying to break in the cam at about 2,022 RPMs, it was a constant smoke. Maybe as the ring seat, it'll get better. Got a little bit of a mist to it. I'm gonna let it cool off. I'm gonna check these plugs. I'll recheck my timing. Got me a little bit of time this afternoon. Trying to bleed my slave cylinder, bleed the master cylinder and the slave cylinder for my clutch. And my clutch is not actuating. So let's change the slave cylinder. We'll be able to do that this afternoon. I have about an hour. Let's do that and see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to be taking that off. I'm going to break the metal line right behind the slave cylinder there loose first. Get it loose, then break these two loose. And yeah, I need to get something to play up that hose with, because that fluid would probably drain kind of quick. So let me break all this loose right here. I broke the hose loose coming into the slave cylinder. It's a 10mm wrench, and I took the bolts out of the slave cylinder. So what I'm going to try to do, get my new slave cylinder. When I unscrew the hose from the back, I'm going to screw it right back into the new one. Hopefully keep from losing a lot of fluid, and snug it up, and then bolt it up to the bell housing here. That's what I'm going to try to do. Some of you may have noticed that right off, that is not the same slave cylinder. See, mine has two bolts in the bottom. The hose, the hard line, comes in from the back, and it has the bleeder on that corner right there outside. Yeah, that is nothing like this. I ordered this one. I may just even go by locally here somewhere and find the right one. Just send this one back. Let's try this again on this sorry about if this camera work. I put it in the tripod, but it says dormant. That's what it's supposed to be. Yep, that one looks right. This one looks right. I'm just curious if the number that was on this other one right here. Let's see here. It says CS. They sent me another one. They told me no need to return. CS 37 or 375.25. CS 375.20. That's the same number. That's got that number on it. But this one has got a different number. You know, around. You know, you got to be careful. Well, can't be careful. It just happens. With Amazon's return policy, lots of stuff gets returned and gets mixed up and whatever. But regardless, I have the right one now, I think. So let's put this on. Well, got the old one off. And tried to do the little quick swap-a-roo while the fluid was running out. And let me just tell you, for some reason, I just could not get that thread to start. And after it running all down my arm, all down my shirt, down through my belly, you know how sticky brake fluid is? it's an uncomfortable feeling. So I decided to let it drain out. And I have one of the brake bleeder pumps. So we'll have fresh fluid in it anyway. So now that all the fluid has gone out, I'll see if I can thread this thing on. But yeah, that was a real mess. Let me tell you, if you've never had brake fluid run down your arm and down to your belly, you just hadn't lived. Man, I might have to take a bath. My monthly bath. I wasn't supposed to take a bath till about next Thursday, but I guess I'm going to take one. Okay, we got the new one up in here. And we'll tighten this up and tighten the inlet hose, loosen my bleeder. I'll get my little pump out here and we'll put some fresh fluid in here. You know, I was hoping it was a slave cylinder. I probably should have went ahead and got me a master cylinder anyway. I didn't. This is a little easier to change. We'll change this first. We'll see if we can bleed it out, and then we'll check the clutch. Yeah, hopefully this is it, but I got my doubts because that other, the one I poured out, it acted like it felt all right. So I got my hose up on my light's getting dim, up on the end of my slave cylinder up there with my wrench. And just pump this up. Be careful, don't let your fluid come down and up into this. Pump this up. And then I come up here, crack my bleeder. Here it kind of suck air come through the hose there. When I do that, it drops the pressure on this a little. But I've done that a few times. The reason I got this lighter here is because I come up here, I keep my master cylinder topped off, and I don't have to lift my 4runner up and down with a lift. Got my charger on this thing. Let's see if it'll crank. It's sit here for 3 or 4 days. Let's see if she'll crank. And let's see what the pedal feels like now that we've bled on the clutch. Oh my goodness. Oh man, it feels like I have a little pedal now. Let's see what happens here. Cranked up. My charge light won't go out. I guess maybe I've either got a wire undone or my alternator's not working. Let's see how the clutch does here now. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm real happy. We got a clutch now. Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was a slave cylinder, so it was. We got clutch. But you got to figure out what's going on. You don't want to idle here. And I still have, I think there's one hose right here. Right here. I got one hose right here, one vacuum port that's not hooked up. I need to figure out what that is tonight or tomorrow, get that hooked up. And yeah, we'll get there. So I've readjusted my timing. Set my base timing at 5 degrees, and yeah, it looks like it's around 12 degrees now. Seems to be running a little better the more it runs. Still acts like it has a little bit of a mist to it. I hear a little bit of air. From somewhere. I forgot, this is still not plugged up. I got to figure out what that goes to. I need to look back and see if we can figure that out. But I might actually pull it outside and just to say it's driving under its own power. Yeah, I may pull it out. Might clean it off a little bit off the top and just pull it outside here. I might actually spray it off, clean tires and wheels, and because I'm getting kind of excited, I want to drive this thing. Hey, let's let this thing down all the way. And yeah. Come on, the other way. Okay. It's been a long time coming to it pulls out on its own. Got that bulldog look to it, squatting in the back. We'll fix that though. Under its own power. Under its own power. First time in a long time, I'm sure, under its own power, poured out like that. Now we still got a lot to do. A lot to do. But yeah, I want to just kind of spray it off, spray the wheels and tires off a little bit. Just got to put that piece back in here. But there she is, under her own power. So we got still a lot of tuning probably to do on this motor. Got to see if I can cut that oil pressure back a little bit. I don't know why it's 70 pounds. But yeah, we'll do that. Put the hood back on. Eventually, we'll have this thing painted. I got to, after I get all the engine and everything, the bugs worked out of it, got to go through the brakes. I want to raise this back end up to match the front. New tires. And I'm going to pull the top off and start working on the interior. So we have a lot to do. This is going to be a long project, guys. Probably the first bath in a long time. Need something to clean him real good.